everybody. Hi there. So I thought for today, I still have a little lingering cough. Um, I thought for today we could do a little bit more in DesignMate than we've done in the past because um, building on how to add photos to projects, I thought was like really important. And so I've been kind of creating the projects today using photos. These are the three projects we're going to work on. I have a little flag here that was printed on neoprene material. This is a little leather placemat that is intended to be used as a mouse pad. And then adding this little box here, adding a design onto a cardboard box. So if you want to thank a teacher, or you can use it for a neighbor or anything like that, and you want to have a fun way to add a photo onto a prepackaged box, I've got some cute tips for that. So why don't I go ahead and share my screen here and we'll get started right in DesignMate. So the first project I wanted to show you was how to use the DesignMate pre-designed templates. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit a new creation. And if you want to follow along with me in the Sawgrass software and the DesignMate software, please feel free to do that. That way you kind of get your hands in it and can kind of get a feel for what we're doing. Now, I did make a banner, so you could, excuse me, you could go in and search for a blank on a banner hanging sign. I didn't happen to have this size banner, and that's what kind of led me to use the neoprene fabric to make my banner size. So this is a 9.5 by 11.5, so it would require using the larger size paper, which, you know, if you have that handy, you can definitely use that. So what I did instead, though, was just did an open custom canvas, and I made it 8 inches by 10.5 inches. So that left me a little bit of room around the edge to have my design kind of bleed over the edge. So then I went ahead and said, design my canvas. Now in the 5th tab down here that says designs, ready to use templates, when you click on those, you'll get a big, there's like a really growing selection of designs that you can use. I love these pickleball ones. They're so cute. But these would be great to use on like a bag, or if you are, you know, if you have somebody who's making pickleball things, you know, like making the pickleball paddles and stuff. So I thought those are really cute. And of course, the nature ones are outdoor parks, but there's some also for Mother's Day and Father's Day. I'm going to pop on into nature because our theme today is how to wow your teacher. So some of the nature projects, I thought like if you had, you know, a science teacher, you could use some of those. The one I selected to use was this butterfly image here. But as you look down, like, thanks for helping me grow. That'd be so cute to use for a teacher gift. And then you also have the butterflies with the back, like a circle design, and then the background designs of the butterflies as well. So why don't we go ahead? I'm going to select this butterfly template with the image. So when I select that, it will bring it onto my canvas. Now, each of these elements is its own individual element and size. So you could resize or adjust any of those as you want to. When you click on the image, you can replace the image. So right now there's just this gray box that's an image in there. But what we're going to do is we are going to, let me get that centered back. I messed that around. We're going to replace the image. So to replace your image, all you have to do is select the replace image button, and this will take you into your library of images. So I actually used my own picture for this one. Let me find that one again. Here we go. So I just selected that picture, and that picture comes into the canvas. Now you can resize that picture if you need to by using the image position and resizing arrows here that you can move it around. So if I wanted to move myself a little bit left or right. If I want to go in and expand into the picture and kind of break out some of that background, I can do that. You can, let's see, you can change your stroke. So this has like a white stroke on it. I could change that color if I wanted to, just by changing the hex colors here. But actually, I'll probably go ahead and remove that stroke. So I'll take that down to 0. So there's no stroke on that image at all. Unless there was a really good reason to keep that on there. I'm not really feeling it. What do you guys think? Should we keep it on there? I don't know. You can see if you go bigger, your stroke will be a little bit bigger or smaller. So I'm just going to remove my stroke altogether. And I have my picture there. And then that's it. That's all I have to do. I'm ready to go ahead and print this out. So from here, you would just click on over to your save canvas or the print, and then you could print that out. Now I've gone ahead and printed this out. So when we get to our projects, I will be able to pop this back in. Before we move on to the next element here, the next design in Design Made, I just want to make sure if anybody has any questions about using those pre-designed templates and adding an image to the templates. You can also, I forgot to show you, you can add text. I added like Kesley.365 on mine. So this is a great teacher gift. You can put their room number on it. You can put their name on it. You can put this like, we're at lunch, we're at recess, anything like that that you want to do. But those templates are really easy to use, and there's some really cute ones that I plan on using for Mother's Day and Father's Day.
You could do a class nickname. So if the teacher had a nickname for the class, you could put the grade as well. That they teach would be a good one, or subject if they're older.
I love that. Also, one thing, you can make it bigger if you wanted to. Like I just made mine kind of on the smaller side, but you could make your banner bigger. So a lot of teachers like to have things that they can hang in their classroom window. So this is something that could hang in their classroom window. You could do it. I just used felt on the back, but you could always do, something more, do it double-sided if you wanted to, and make it so it would fill up the entire window. I thought that was fun. All right, so let's go back in. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a new design, because the other part of the images I want to show you is how to take an image that is already created and add a picture or photo to that image. So again, I'll just create my own custom size. So we'll just do this 8 inches by 10 inches, and we'll go ahead and design my canvas. Now for this one, I was working on the box top. So those are about 5 by 5 is the top of that box. But I also use the same idea on I use the same idea on the felt. I love the felties. So I did that on there too. So if you go into the elements, and you can choose the graphics library, and I thought like one thing we always, our teachers are just heroes. They're the best. So we want to give them an award. So if you do a search in the content for award, all these different awards show up. So you have the cute little leaves, the actual trophies, but I really loved the award ribbons. So I brought this ribbon onto my canvas. Now, I knew I wanted to add a little thank you text to it, and I was going to make that this green color. So while I had the image on my screen with the colors showing, I went ahead and clicked into the colors, selected that green color, and copied the hex code so that when I add my text, I can easily grab my color. So I'm thinking ahead there. But what I wanted to do with this image was right in the center here, because we're working with photos, is add a picture onto the image. So I just am going to go back, and select the shapes. So within the shapes, I will select a circle. Oops, what happened here? There we go. So I'm going to add a circle onto my canvas, and I'll just resize it using the corner adjustment so that it is the size to fit inside of my circle. And I'll probably try and get it to take up that whole cream space there. And we'll just kind of get that centered onto the circle. So that is about, that's about right. That looks about right in the center of the ribbon. From here, then I can go back and create a mask. So I'll use this circle to create a mask. So you just click on that icon there, use this as mask, and then you need to upload your photo into that space. So when you select upload, again, you can go into your download file or wherever you have pictures. I'll use this picture of Mrs. Cook, and we'll add that onto the canvas. So that's the picture I want to use. From here, I just, again, can adjust the position and size of my image. I want to make sure that if you notice on the bottom here, it's got that tan line right there, that straight line, and then the tan. So the picture is not filling up that entire circle. So I just want to make sure that I bring my picture down to fill up the whole circle, get her lined up in the center. I can go a little bigger if I wanted to and bring that down. And again, I think I'll go ahead and remove my that stroke on the image. I could go a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to remove that stroke though. So we'll just have that on the circle there. So now I've added a layer that was just a shape to get my photo into the circle size. So I think that is so such a great tool to use on the different images that are already done. So if you want to add, like if you have a watering can and you want to add, let's say your teacher's theme is how the garden grows, or something like that, or our growing garden, and you have a watering can, you could create a circle in the center of the watering can and put your teacher's picture there, or pictures from the classroom, anything like that. Then we'll just add the font and just some text onto this. So I'll just type in thank, choose a fun font style. Like I think it starts with an A. Let me find it. Here we go. Autolova. I love that font. So I'm going to add that one on there, and I'll change my fill color. Now remember, I went in and copied that hex code. So now I can just come back and do Control V, and it turns it into that same light green color, which is so fun. And then I want to make sure that I have an outline on that, and I'll make my outline in white. So do my, 5 Fs, and we'll make that a little bit thicker, and we'll say done. Now from here, if I wanted to add some effects, I could certainly add some different effects to the words if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to do the thank, and then I'm going to back out. So I go all the way out, and I'm going to come back to the thank and do a Control Copy and a Control V. So I did a Control Copy, copies that word, and then I can come back in and paste a U onto there. Thank you. And then lastly, I want to copy and paste this one more time so that I can do my exclamation mark. Now, you may be wondering, why did you copy and paste? Why not just write thank you out? My reason for not just writing the thank you out was I wanted to have the flexibility to move each of the words around. So once I got the design the way that I liked it, I could then kind of come back in and add different pieces to it. So I want to have like a nice big exclamation mark here. And we're going to make that exclamation mark go behind. So I can right click on it or use the use the features on the other side. We're going to send this one backward. So it's behind the thank you. And then I can move the U back over here, kind of like that. So it's kind of overlapped. And then I can just group all of these letters together, group them, and then I can move this around if I wanted to go, you know, a little crooked like that, maybe bring it down to the side, however I wanted to change that font. And then I'm ready to go. I can just go ahead and save this, save the canvas, and we'll call this, let me see, what am I going to call this? Box top treat. I can save that. Now, one thing I do want to do is come back in and make sure that I had everything sized to fit on my box top. So I'd want to make sure that image was 5 by 5. Okay, and then it's going to pop it here. Anytime I want, I can go back to this image and modify it and change it. Because you're going to go into school and be that parent and everyone's going to say, oh my gosh, where did you do that? I need to make those for my class too. So how did you do that? And then you'll end up making them for the whole school. But if you're in the PTA, that's a really cute way to do a thank you for your teachers and stuff. Okay, so now let me get my PrintMate open. So that's happy and running, because the last thing I want to show you is in PrintMate some different things, and then most of these I've already printed out so that we can just get right into the crafting. Let's see, how can I get back here? I want to get back into Zoom, and I'm having a hard time seeing how to share. Okay, let me share my PrintMate here. Okay, so in the PrintMate, I have a couple of my different projects are already here. So if I wanted to make sure that badge was the right size, I could come back down here and change it to a 5-inch height on my project. And maybe I want to add 2 of those onto my page to print. So I'll get 2 right there, and they'll be at the 5-inch, 5 inches high by 4 inches wide. And let's see, where's my second one there? Is she on there? Let's see. Here we go. So now I have 4 different, I've included a repeat of 4 images onto one page, so I can just print out all of those 4 images at one time. And I just use the width and the height to make sure that I have that set at the right height and width. This is also another image I wanted to bring in. So this was a design I did outside of DesignMate to make my mouse pad. And I did that at a size of I think it was like 10 by 8, but I noticed that my mouse pad was a little bit, it was smaller. I think my mouse pad was 7 by 7. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough leeway on the side of this design to make it work. So let me go ahead. I'm going to actually close this one out because I feel like I've got it at the wrong size. I'm going to go ahead and create a new project and add files. So this is the mouse pad. This way we start fresh. So it starts it off as an 8.5 by 11. But like I said, my pad is 7 by 7 by like 9, I think. So I definitely did not need it 8.5 inches. I think that would make it too big. So I just changed the height to 8 inches. Which will give me enough clearance on the top and the side to fit in, but it'll keep the image smaller, if that makes sense. And then for this one, I just went to my color settings, my color management. Now it does have the photo, but most of this project is the graphic. So I did print this one as vibrant. And I used the, this is the one that's going on a leather mouse pad. So I used the mouse pad setting. So that will, in essence, give me the right amount of ink on my paper. So I select mouse pad and vibrant, and I print that one out. And then just double check the other ones. We'll make sure we have all the other ones. I'll go over my print settings for those. So for let me see, this is the one I have here. Okay, so this is my 5x5, and I chose vibrant. Now it is going on a cardboard, which is not, I was a little bit nervous. I was just kind of playing around with it. I'm putting it on like a cardboard box that has like a finish to it. So I just chose the hardboard coaster. The material is not this hard, but that was the closest preset that I had. So I chose the hardboard coaster and selected vibrant. And then, believe it or not, on this one, I'll show you, I did it both ways, as the vibrant and the photograph, and I liked how the vibrant came out. So we can kind of explore those options as we go along. All right, before we jump into creating, does anybody have any questions? And this is a good time to ask any questions you might have about how we designed those items or using design name. I'm going to bring up my table here so we can work at a higher level, and then we'll clean up our space. All right, quiet group today, guys. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Now, the mouse pad I'm using is from Craft Express. The neoprene material, I just got that at Joann Fabrics. It's actually like scuba material, so it's really kind of cool. There we go. So it's kind of cool that it's the scuba material. And then the boxes came in a package from Michael's, and I just was like, I wonder if. And so that's what we're going to try today. I'm going to show you that back. All right, so we have the neoprene design printed in vibrant. We have our teacher mouse pad also printed in vibrant. And then I have our box top here printed in vibrant. So we can go ahead, if we want to go to the overhead camera, I'll get that one set up, and we'll do our box top first. So this was kind of like a fun material to work with, because I'd never tried it before. So, it's always kind of fun to do something new. I used the heat settings for like the hardboard. Actually, I found somebody who made paper bags, and I used their heat settings. So my heat settings for this was 365 for 30 seconds. So I'm going to turn my heat press on and get it to that 365. Good. And we'll do it for 30 seconds. So it's less heat, less time. And I actually even think you could go. So I got my back to you guys. I actually think you could do 20 seconds on this. You could just do 20 seconds instead of the 30 seconds. The boxes are 5 inches by 5 inches. So I knew my design needed to be 5 inches by 5 inches. And see how everything it's already done. So all I have to do is get a treat and maybe some tissue paper to put inside of it. And then you could have, like, if you're on the PTA or something like that, you could have these in the office ready for the teachers. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of cut this down to 5 inches by 5 inches. I like to use my ruler. I have one handy, and sort of make sure I get my design in the middle for the 5 inches. Let's see, what did I do with my, here we go. This might be a better ruler here. So if I put her in the middle there, the overall design is 3 inches. So I just need to have 1 inch on each side of the design to get the 5 inches. I could go a little bit smaller if I wanted to. Plus I have the thank you. but I really want this centered on the design. So we're just gonna move that one. We want to, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So this will be 5 inches. See. Have a little bit more on that side than this one. I'll trim off about 1/4 inch. Okay, and then on your top, it's going to be 5 inches also. So let's just get this centered here. So about 3/4 of an inch from the top. So we'll do about 3/4 inch from the ribbon. That should just about do it. So that should give me my design in the center. Yep. So now when I put that on, I can see a little bit, I can center it on here and leave it overlapping, or just trim it down a little bit more, 1/4 of an inch on each side if you wanted to. So let's just do that real quick. Here. I don't know, it doesn't really matter too much if you have it, you know, perfectly lined up. So I probably overthinking it here, but we'll just go like that and put it right down and I'll center it. So I did preheat the cardboard. I don't know if you need to or not on cardboard, but I did go ahead and preheat it. So if we want to go over to my heat press, I will talk about how we get it all set up on the heat press. So I have my butcher paper and I'm just going to kind of unroll that here so that I'll give myself a nice clean working surface to work with. And then I want to put one on the top of my designs as well. So we'll just go for 2 nice little big chunky butcher papers. Now, being that's cardboard, you're not going to clean it off with alcohol or anything like that to get started. So we'll just go ahead and put it in. This is the top. This front flap is the front of the top. So you want your design to go that direction. So we'll put it on our paper here. And my press is set up. It's at 365. So we're just going to swing that over. And I'm just going to give it a little press for like 5 seconds to kind of heat it up and get it happy. Okay. And we'll just swing that away. Okay. Now, once I've got this on here, it's preheated, and I just need to add my design to it. So you guys can see that, right? So we already kind of worked out our spacing, and I'm just going to center this on the cardboard. Now I did, you do want to tape it down, but you can, I kind of wasn't sure if the tape would tear off the cardboard, and it has not for me. I think that's because of the finish on the cardboard, but I did go ahead and tape it to the butcher paper below. So if you're more comfortable doing that, you can totally do that and not tape it at all onto the cardboard. Just whatever you're comfortable with. Now I did switch out my gloves. I had those big blue chunky gloves last week. Was not a fan. So I went for something smaller that I felt like gave me a little bit more flexibility. Okay, so we're gonna put that one on there. Go ahead and set it down. Now I have medium pressure. So what that means is, like, if I pull on my cardboard, it's not going to move out of my press. So it's just gonna, hold it all in there, give it the nice heat. And again, like I said, I think you could actually do it for a little bit less than 30 seconds. I think 20 seconds would be okay. So let's go ahead and open it up and we'll see how that did. I'm still playing around a little bit with my settings. Look how cute is that? So there, that is adorable. I love that. And then if all you have to do now, if we'll go back to the overhead camera, is fold this back up. Let's see where these pieces should go on the inside. This comes up. This goes on the outside, go like this. And then you could add your tissue paper inside with your treats. Have this in the teacher's lounge or front office or in each of your teacher's cubby holes. Really fun. And I could see so many other applications for something like this. For not just school, but like anytime you have to give a gift, you can now customize the box with the photo. And then you can just add a little sticker on the front of it. And there you go. Isn't that cute? All right, so that's our first one. 365 for 20 to 30 seconds on that, and then you're good to go.
That's adorable.
Thank you, Rhonda. I wish I still had kids at in school. I would have totally hooked the teachers up with these. Okay, so our next one is the this is the leather placemat from Craft Express. Now, one thing I'm going to show you guys when we do like a preheat on it, the leather will sort of like bubble on you, and you're thinking like, oh my gosh. So what I found was once I did the preheat and then press right away. We're going to preheat it and then let it cool off so the leather sort of settles back down, because as you can see, I pressed it too quickly, and I think the waves in the leather caused that right there. So I did a second time, and I loved how it turned out. So we're going to do it that way and give it enough time to preheat it. And while it's preheating, I will show you how I get my design centered on the placemat. So we're just going to open this up. And the great thing about the Craft Express materials, as well as the Make Market materials from Michaels, they both have your heat settings on the packaging. So if you use any of those two products, you're going to have your heat settings, and then you can also usually go to the manufacturer's website. So this says to press at 356 degrees for 50 seconds. So I'll need to just change the time on my machine, and it says do not exceed 365 degrees. So I'm just going to step away for 1 second. Actually, I think I have it at 365. So let me turn it down a little bit. Let me turn it to 356 for 60 seconds. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and heat it up and do that preheat for the 5 to 10 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and do the preheat on this. But I want, I don't want anybody to get worried that your material will kind of have a wrinkle to it. So when we take it out of the preheat, I'm going to put it on my pad, and then I'm going to put a weight on it. So I have my easy press to use as my weight. So we'll put that right on top of it and kind of settle it down a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to go over to the press. We'll put that in for just about 5 seconds to heat it up. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I take it out, you will see it is wrinkled. Or what? Yeah, see, I don't know if you can see those shadows. Can you see that? So I just am going to bring it over to my workstation. I'm going to put a little weight on there. Don't know if you need to do that or not, but we're just going to, it's sandwiched in here. And while that is sandwiched, I'm going to show you what I did to get my mat to line up. So It's a little hard to see through your placemat to make sure you have it centered on your design. So what I did was I cut out a piece of paper that was the same size as my placemat, and I ran a grid on it so I know where the center of my design is. And then I turned it over. This is where if you have a box, whatever it's called, a light box, this comes in handy. So we're going to take our light box, put our design on it, and make sure that we get our design lined up all the way around. So again, just take your ruler, and it's 1 inch on each side. I know this because I already did this. So you want to make sure, like from the T, it goes over 1 inch. From the line of the T, and then the line of the R, it's 1 inch. And then from the edge of the paper, it was 1/2 inch on the top and 1/2 inch on the bottom. Once you have that marked down, then you can take your pencil and just draw that line in. Of course, I've lost my pencil. Just draw the edge, draw around the edge. There we go. This way, when you put I'm working on the back side of my paper, so I'll have lines to follow. They're not on the side of my design that's actually going to be pressed down, but it will make it just easier to put my pad onto the design properly. So I'm not, I don't know about you, I struggle sometimes to get my pad things to line up perfectly. Now you can see it's smooth again. So there's no wrinkles in this design. So we'll just take the pad, turn it upside down, right sides facing each other. And then I can line up all the way around my design, following my pencil marks, which again are on the opposite side. So they're not gonna show through or have any chance of coming onto my pad, which I don't think that they would because they're pencil. So I'm not really, I don't think that they would transfer over, but better safe than sorry. And then I'm just gonna really tape this down and make sure I have enough tape on it that it's not gonna wiggle on me. Once you get it placed right, you want it to stick. All right. So that's nicely taped down. When I turn it over, I've got my design. It's sandwiched, is facing the right side of the leather, and my machine temperature has cooled down a bit. Let's double check. Yep, I'm at 356. So we can go back over to that angle if you want. And then this will you'll press this for a minute. So we'll go ahead and put this in. And then we'll press it for 1 minute. Let's get that nice. And I always like to kind of center my design or center what I'm pressing into the center of my press so that I get, I get the heaviest part of the design onto it at that spot.
Leslie, did you mean to put that in the press upside down?
Of course not. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Lori speaks from personal experience.
And I have literally pressed dozens of this particular product, and I'm going, oh, if she's doing it a different way.
No, I'm doing it the wrong way. All right, so we're going to, we'll push this down, give the press, and then we'll let it go. Now, again, it is medium pressure. I don't have I haven't cranked up my knob super hard, but I know nothing's going to move on me, so it's got a good pressure in there. And it'll just count down for a minute, and then we'll be able to pull back over to our overhead camera and remove that pretty design there. Now this one too, I do like to remove the design right away because I don't want to have my paper stick on that leather. But again, the leather will it could look wrinkled. And I just don't want anybody to panic and think, oh, I ruined the mouse pad. You haven't. It will totally it'll flatten right out. And I will put my weight on it again, just to make sure. Now, the other thing about these is think about Mother's Day for these little pads too. And you could use them as little mini placemats for your mom. If you want to do like a morning charcuterie board or something like that, you can just put that right on for mom. Okay, now we can just pull off our design here. Cute. And I'm not even gonna worry about getting the tape off. I just want to make sure, because you can see it's a little bit curved, but so I just put it over here and I put a little weight on that and it's gonna flatten that right out, and then I'll be able to take the tape off at the end afterwards. So that is ready to peel off. And it does, yeah, I do like these gloves much better. It does flatten out, it straightens itself right back up. It may do it without putting the weight on it. I just didn't want to take a chance. So I added the weight to it. But really very fun project.
You definitely need the weight.
Is that what you found?
Yes, you definitely need the weight. And what I actually use these for is I put my kids' pictures on them, and then I buy a plate stand and use them as photo panels.
Oh, cute. Like as like you just put their picture on it and then you just put it up as on a stand. And
Yep.
don't put anything on top of it. I like that.
That is what everybody got for Christmas, not last year, but the year before.
Well, and they're also really cute too. Like if you do any gaming, you could have them by like where you play games and use it to roll dice on. Because it's such a smooth surface.
Right. And last year, my son graduated high school last year, so his godmother got that with his picture as like her
Aww.
party favor. And so
That would be
those,
cute for like wedding gifts too.
yep. And my granddaughter, we did, because they're not a full-size placemat, they're
Right.
more of a kid-size placemat, so they're snack mats.
Yes, it's perfect for that. It is. I mean, it is like just so everybody knows, like ratio size. So if you were to take, I have my little Starbucks, like I could put if they're snack sizes. So you could put like a drink and a little snack on there, or use it as a mouse pad. It's really, I love these. And I love that you can I don't know if you do the pattern all the way to the edge,
Yes,
but
always.
because the stitching doesn't cause divots in the design or anything like that. Like it really comes out nice.
No, as long as you have your pressure correct, it will get into that stitching area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it must be made with polyester thread too, just to point out, because like where this pink is here and the thread is actually colored pink. So I'm assuming that the thread used to stitch this together is a polyester thread as opposed to like a cotton thread, one, because it's heats up to such a high temperature. Cotton may just, disintegrate. So maybe that's why they use polyester, but also your design goes right to the edge and you can't even like it just changes the color to it.
Well,
So
cotton
that's
thread's also very rare because it frays in the machine and gums up the machine.
yes, true. Okay, so our last project is this little banner that I made here. So we're going to go ahead and press this. This is the fabric I'm using is neoprene. It's like a scuba fabric. Now, some of the neoprene fabric will have like a black part to it. I like this one because it's a solid white. I found it at my Joann fabric store and it was on like a big roll. You can also use their whiteout fabric or a shower curtain liner would work too. I like the thickness of this. It really makes your banner pretty sturdy. Okay, so let's go, I'll take us back over to our press. Now I have to heat my press up to 400 degrees for this. So we'll go back over the press, get this, pre-pressed, ready to go. And then we'll talk about what you need to do. So let's go ahead and I'll get this started to heat up here. I'm gonna have to heat up quite a bit. And I believe my time is 100 seconds on this. I'll double check till we're going down. The scuba fabric is really, it's such a fun fabric to use, and you can really use it for so many different projects. So you can make your own koozies if you wanted to. You could do flags with it. You can make bags with it. Just so many different things. So we'll go ahead and get that heated up. And because my fabric has kind of been sitting around, I want to make sure I don't have any lint on there. So I'm going to go ahead and use my lint brush. And we're just going to make sure that there's no lint on here. If you're new to sublimation, if you have any little lint pieces that are left on your material, they will get in the middle of transferring your design. So if you happen to have pets or your own hair in the way, you'll end up with like a squiggle through your design. So you do want to make sure that you've got your lint is off of your project if there's any chance it could be on there. And I'm just going to check my timing here on this. I have that right. Okay, 40 degrees for 30 seconds, not 100 seconds. All right, so we'll just change that time down. $30 seconds. And I am using the same pieces of butcher paper. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I am reusing my butcher paper on the projects because I haven't gotten a transfer from my printout onto the transfer paper. But if I did, I would change them out from there. But I don't have anything transferring over, so that's good. Now, when just given the nature of your heat press, you could move your design when you bring over your heat press. So again, you always want to just give it a good takedown so it's not going to wiggle on you. And we'll tape it. I'm taping it right to the fabric. It may tape a little bit on the bottom butcher paper, but I'm mostly taping it to the fabric. Just going to rotate that around so I can get the other sides. I just want to make sure that my fabric is flat. My design is flat. The more tape we use, like I feel like you can never use too much tape, but you can use too little tape. If you have like a little air gap in there, your press won't work as nicely. It won't be as strong. So I always feel like the more tape, the better. Nothing wrong with using more tape. All right, and we're at 400 degrees. So I'm just gonna switch that around. We'll put my replace the piece in here. Okay. Get my little gloves on. I like to make sure this my press is lined up properly. So we just press that down and go ahead and start the countdown. So once this is pressed, I'll use a template I made with cardstock for the banner size. So you can make your banner if you want to make it like round on the bottom. You can, make it round on the bottom. If you want to make it pointed, you could definitely make it. I'm going to make mine pointed, but you could do it however you'd like to do it. And then I'll show you how I added the top piece to my banner. It turned out so nice. Aren't those colors gorgeous? I love how the butterfly pops out. Okay, so we'll come back over to my overhead again. And for this part, I'm going to use my, I'll use a self-healing mat. And I'll use my template, a rotary cutter, my felt, I'll grab my felt color. That gray's kind of pretty. So put that behind it and I'll just cut them both at the same time. So for something like this, all I'm going to do is I'll just cut along the sides here. If you wanted to, you could even do your design of your flag shape in Design Mate so that you already have your shape and all you have to do is trim along those lines. I want it to be a little flexible in case I wanted to switch it around and do it circular at the bottom. Which I still totally could. Like I could just round that way as opposed to angling it. Now with my corner angler, I could just kind of get my angle right here and cut it. This is a little bit sharp of a corner. It's a 45-degree angle corner. So I'm going to give myself, that's why I made my own pattern. I wanted to be a little bit less sharp, especially with the butterfly design. So it's going to be a paper trimmer. And you could just draw this out with pencil and use scissors across it if you needed to. You know, you don't have to have a rotary cutter to do this. The neoprene cuts really smoothly, so don't, you know, if you're just using scissors, you'll be fine. Then we have missed that flag there. A little trim off that. Okay, so there's my design. And what I did was you can use a glue gun if you have a glue gun or just adhesive. You could use fabric adhesive if you wanted to and adhere this together. I ended up stitching mine. So I just stitched around and stitched it to the felt, but if you're not a sewer, feel free to use your fabric glue, your hot glue. You could even use Wonder Under and iron it on itself. What I did to create my channel for the rod there is I just folded this over on top and created a little pocket. And so you would just use your sewing machine or your glue gun and press this down and create that little channel there for your dowel. It would also be super cute to use eyelets if if you have eyelets. But again, like a design like this, you could put your teacher's name, their classroom. You could make it. You could make a little banner for each student in their on the bulletin board on the first day of school. That would be really cute. So I mean, there's so many fun things you can do with this. For your teachers, you could have them like we're at gym and put the gym teacher's picture on there, anything like that. So that is the last thing. The only other thing I was going to show you guys, which I've already done the design. Oh no, that's in the back of her shirt. Sorry, I thought I had a little ghosting there, but it's a edge of the board. This was the thing. Did the box, the thank you in the box. This I added a nice light mint to the background, and this is one of the felties from Make Market. I'm addicted to these, so I love these. Anytime I can make one, you just put a little essential oil on it and use the ties, and then you can hang it in the car, and it becomes a freshie. But that would be like another fun way if you didn't want to print right on the box. You could do just a little tag on the box that says thank you, and do the teacher's pictures and things like that. I kind of steered away from doing mugs or something because my mom was a teacher and she always got so many mugs and so many Christmas ornaments. So I was like, what else would she have liked for her classroom or for herself as a teacher? And, a library tote bag would be another really cute design to put this on and then have more of the butterflies kind of just floating around. Lots of fun things you can do as an end of the year gift. Instead of something for your teacher, you could just put the whole class picture on the placemat. Would be really fun for them to have as a memory of that class if they were a good class. All right, well, were there any other questions that we got to or didn't get to?
I did have some questions about fabric prints and them not being very vibrant. And that's when we're troubleshooting through the support team is a really good idea. Because they can really like systematically figure out why your prints on fabric aren't as vibrant as they should be. So I recommend always open a ticket with care.sawgrassinc.com.
That's a great suggestion. And is it on different types of fabrics or is it just across the board?
Well, that was what I ruled out to begin with, because normally if I hear that prints are dull on fabric, the first thing I always check is to make sure you are using a high count polyester, and that's not the situation here. So that's why I would say care team can really dive into that better than you and I can.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. All right.
All right. Thank you, Kesley. That was great. I know next week you have some great graduation projects for us.
We do. We are going to be doing some graduation gifts. The one thing I'm not going to, do you want to switch over to the other camera? Sorry. Yeah, so we're going to be doing some acrylic frames like night lights. So that when your high school grad goes off to their first sleeping away, they'll have a little night light and some other fun graduation gifts. So very excited for the graduates.
That's so awesome. It's good time of year. We call May the gifting month, or April and May the gifting months for a reason.
It is. That's a great, I mean, we have so many. We have Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduations, weddings, and every design can be applied to whatever theme you're working on.
Yeah, you start working in April and then May and June, those are the gifting months.
Yeah. We're here.
All
for
right.
them.
Well, thank you so much for these great projects, Kesley. I always love when we do unconditional material like cardboard. So thanks for bringing that in today.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.